Hey, super stoked to have you today, Ilija. Welcome to the Tuesday Triggers podcast, where we talk all of the dope stuff in growth and sales enablement. Super excited to have you on. For those of you that don't know, Ilija is from HeyReach. HeyReach is one of the best, if not the best, LinkedIn outreach tools on the market. It is the best LinkedIn outreach tool on the market. And we use it ourselves, and we use it for ourselves and our clients. So I will say, love the tool. And thanks, Ilya, for coming on. Why don't you give yourself a quick introduction?
Chris, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to just be part of this such amazing community and glad that I can be of help to everyone, really. So, Ilya, don't even try to pronounce it on your own, because your desk might start floating. Either way, I've been the guy behind the revenue in Hirage, so I'm not just talking about revenue, but even from market research to development of the product and all of that. And yeah, we are trying to blaze this bad boy inside of the growth hacking communities and maybe just help agencies do a better job on LinkedIn.
Amazing. Super simple, short to the point. Love it. Now, let's dive into LinkedIn because I think that, one of the main things about this podcast is the law of reciprocation, right? Giving more than you take, reciprocating knowledge, and you, my friend, are an incredible wealth of knowledge. I've had the pleasure of having you come and speak with our community. Absolutely so insightful. Let's talk about people who are just starting LinkedIn outreach, who are just starting to build automations around it, who are just starting to utilize it. Give them the kind of overview of where to start, how to wrap their head around it, any advice you might give.
Absolutely, Chris. I mean, at the end of the day, sharing is caring, right? So if our customers don't find use cases of our product and make an extra dollar on top of that, what's the point of us even selling this product in the first place? So I'm gonna share my screen now, and I'm gonna guide you guys through basically how LinkedIn is done essentially as a channel. Not so much like how is the tool done, but more like how you should see on LinkedIn, because there are obviously some things that are just each channel has its own unique audience in its own unique ecosystem, right? So if you want to hit numbers such as, I don't know, 800, 900 connection requests and 500 people really accepting your connection request, obviously there are some guidelines that you need to obey in order to be successful on the platform itself. So one thing that I have to compare is there are obviously three main channels these days. So now you have the obviously LinkedIn email, you have the cold calls, and then you have LinkedIn. And obviously LinkedIn is becoming a major part of everyone's activities when it comes to outbound, just because cold callings and email outbound are just declining to some extent. On the other hand, if you
They're
go on
not
LinkedIn,
declining if you're good enough at them.
oh yeah, but indeed, but here is the thing, you have to be extremely good at it, and that takes time. It's not that it cannot be achieved, you have to be like our boy over here, Chris, but nevertheless, LinkedIn has its own separate way of communicating, because at the end of the day, LinkedIn is a social platform. It's not a communication channel. It's just a social platform which has a communication channel attached to it, such as LinkedIn DMs over here, or Sales Navigator emails, or you name it, right? So what I'm about to show you is essentially how to get to that audience by presenting yourself in the most natural way possible on the platform itself. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips on the Sales Navigator side of things as well. I know that a lot of people are using Clay, and you do data enrichment, AI prompting, openers, stuff like that. But the problem with LinkedIn, even if you're using Clay like the top-notch expert, how do you know whether or not this audience is actually active on the platform, right? So that's the problem that I would say that LinkedIn has as a channel, is just because everyone opens up their emails quite natural, right? It's on their phone, it's on their computer, they have to open it, like it or don't like it, right? But on LinkedIn, they have to log into the platform in order to be able to see it, right? So that's why LinkedIn as a channel is slower when it comes to generating responses or generating prospect reaction, just because people oftentimes don't log into the platform. The best audience that you can find on LinkedIn has to come from the Sales Navigator. Reason being, it's the only database in the world that actually has the activity filter on its platform. It's their platform at the end of the day, right? So you can probably do something in Clay when it comes to, I don't know, find recent posts, stuff like that. On the Sales Navigator, based on my experience, is just one click of a button. Show me everyone who is matching my criteria over here and have posted something on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. That's all there is, right? So, for instance, we do have like chief executives in America. This is a very broad search. Like people don't do this, go very specific when it comes to filtering. But then again, you can see that over here, I have approximately how many? 1 million, out of which 190,000 actually posted something on LinkedIn, which means that I have roughly a 20% active audience on the platform. Like, theoretically speaking, even if you send 1 million connection requests today, like right now, 190,000 would actually see those connection requests within a week. And that's what you're facing with. So don't take yourself to harm if your LinkedIn campaigns take more time. It's just like natural behavior of the platform itself.
So one
So,
of the easiest takeaway here, which like this is is A, use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. B,
yeah,
choose this option. Put people who have posted on LinkedIn in the past month.
yeah.
Why? Because you know they're actually active. There are literally millions of LinkedIn accounts that no one ever uses, and people in industries that they never check their LinkedIn. If you want to make the most or get the most value out of it, real simple, check that box when you're finding your search for people to either put into an ad campaign, to add yourself, to push to Clay, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the use case. Find them on LinkedIn and reach them in Clay, shoot them back to your LinkedIn outbound automation tool for future campaigns. That's how you combine like the activeness of the platform plus the personalization that you wanted to achieve in the first place. So that's
Sure.
additionally one takeaway.
And you mentioned one other thing. This is a communication platform, right? So
Yeah,
this is for those of you that are just starting. I mean, obviously you guys get it, right? This is like chatting with people on Facebook or MySpace or depending on however old you are. You know, I don't even know if there's anything before that, but like this is a communication platform. It's not a cold email platform. So people talk about this term pitch slap, right? Like nobody wants to get pitch slapped on LinkedIn. Like so, again, you want to create this conversation with them. You want to start building rapport with them. It's not like cold email. You don't do the same type of messaging. You don't come in and pitch slap and say, here's my product, here's my value props, like you should buy my stuff, right? You need to essentially build this relationship and like foster
indeed.
it and let it
Indeed,
grow.
Chris.
Okay,
Indeed,
cool.
Chris. Like people tend to forget, like when you send an email, and I'm gonna shift to theory just a bit to show you the best performing campaign we ever did, honestly. Here's the thing. We've seen the best email outbound experts coming to theory and just failing at the platform, right?
Yeah.
Because their expectations were set wrong. Like they were set that I need to create a campaign, and I'm gonna create the campaign over here, and I'm going to pick up a lead list. Like, don't worry about the technical parts. This is just clicks of a button. I'm going to assign multiple account senders, and I'm going to explain why is that important. And they tend to go with, let's start with an email, right? Just because I have Sales Navigator and I want to message these people, but that doesn't work, which is why on average the email usually has 1.5% reply rate. And standard LinkedIn DMs and messages compared to that have 7 to 8%, which is like, why would you do even emails in the first place? Sure, it takes a little bit of more time, but then again, the results will come and they will come like in a grand way. And then again,
Correct me if I'm wrong. On
sure.
one of our last meetings, you said, I believe, was it email is a waste of time or was it something else is a waste of time?
No. Emails are total waste of time. Like even LinkedIn mess ups when they're sending emails in the first place. So even if I navigate over here and okay, so I'm not going to share my personal inbox at this point. But then again,
Don't
like
dox everyone.
even if you check, like this is a LinkedIn offer, you can see that they messed up on the email itself, and it's coming from LinkedIn. I mean, come on, man, like you should probably do a better job. You have all of my data, right?
Yeah.
Then again, like that's a whole different subject.
So that's
One,
so back to this idea, just to drive this home. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, do this in-mail message, especially if you're using some sort of LinkedIn automation, because it can expand your reach. But what we're hearing right here from Ilya is like it is a waste of time. The response rate is less than a
no.
percent or barely a percent, and so again, probably not worth your time.
Whenever people see that little like bolded sign email, they're hated like right off the bat.
I hate
I'm just,
inbound.
I just hope that someone will prove me wrong, that they will create so hyper personalized email that people can say, oh shoot, I gotta read this headline or I gotta read this message. So let's put a contact, right? If anyone can beat like 5% reply on email, I will give him like a free huge subscription, right? I'm really over it. Cool.
Can you send images in your first email?
I don't believe you can. Let's check it, right? So you need to pick up. You might be able to do that, but I'm not sure, to be
You
honest.
can do an attachment, it looks like, or something.
But yeah, but this is an email that I have already established, so I have to pick up on someone who I have not connected with in previous.
Interesting.
Let's take it. Yeah, you can do it over here. Unfortunately, you cannot do it with us just because the system is not there yet.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't like.
5%, that's the challenge. All right, we'll see if anyone can do
That's
it.
the challenge. Right. Now, additionally, when you're doing LinkedIn outbound, consider this. Emails get unsubscribe me, remove me from your list, etc., etc. And it's perfectly natural. Like that's how a channel works. On LinkedIn, even if you get a no response, you're still attached to that person. Your client is still attached to that person. So respect that as much as you can, because you can always remarket on that type of person. You can shoot them with your content. You can like do a bunch of crazy things, like remarket them at all times, because now you're connected.
So if you don't blow it up in the beginning by running in and pitch slapping them, if you build rapport slowly, you can always go back, even if they don't respond, they fail, whatever, you can always go back and send them something thoughtful a month down the road.
Absolutely.
Again, with that law of reciprocity in mind, send them something of value that you are like taking time to make or think about. And again, you can re-engage like that. All right, so let's dive into like the best thing that you have. If you were to tell someone to go run one LinkedIn campaign, like show us the heat, give us the magic right now.
Chris, like this is probably I'm going to build it out from scratch, right?
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I can show you a template and all of that, but basically you need to get to the logic behind of the campaign, right?
Sure.
So this particular campaign is one-to-one replica of what we did. It's basically, and it's generated like people labeled as interested, 9 big demos, 2 closures. And it's a simple campaign on 400 people reached. That was it, right? On a very well targeted 400 people. That's not to be confused, not on any. So the flow goes like this. You start with the follow. The reason why we start with the follow is because those people will receive an exclusive notification coming from your profile. And when you click on notifications over here, you'll probably find this person started following you. Opposed to, check this out, people viewed your profile. I can see that Wojtek has viewed my profile and 14 hours. And from my perspective, like a 12-hour working day, I probably will never see like the rest of the 14 people. I really don't have time for it. So when it comes to notification value, actually, starting to follow will get an exclusive notification like Ilija or Chris just started following you. 2 days later, you follow up with liking one of the recent posts. Why is that? Because you are attributing to the social element of the prospect itself, not to the outbound campaign, right? How do you know if they have a posted something on LinkedIn in the past 30 days? Now, you are not going in there for the quality of the post that they have written, you're going there for the notification. So what you're creating here is basically your account doing 2 touch points before they even start receiving a message. Next day, you follow up with a connection request. With the recent LinkedIn limitations, and this is a must that everyone should know. If you're doing LinkedIn outbound, if you're doing that with a free LinkedIn account, you cannot send personalized connection requests. LinkedIn got greedy and basically say now you cannot personalize connection requests unless you have a sales navigator. So unless you have that, keep the connection request blank. Trust me on this, we've analyzed around 2.73 million connection requests in 23. Blank connection requests are working fine, and they're getting like a plain 27% acceptance rate. So keep it like short and sweet. You will have all of the time in the world to message people. Most people make a mistake when they're inputting, here is my calendar link, let's meet up because you have a problem. Like, no, I don't. Maybe if I do, like, this is not worth spending time. Now, connection request goes to you. Average acceptance time on LinkedIn, statistically speaking, is 2.5 days. Anything that you do before that doesn't make sense for the prospect, because now they have received a bundle of notification the next time they're logging into their LinkedIn profile. Keep a 3-day minimum, but I would say the optimum is 5 days over here. Then you go with a view profile over here, because now you cannot message this person. You cannot really do anything. You can just do profile engagement. So do a view profile, leave a 3-day delay over here, send them a like repost again. Now in the span of 8 days, you have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points against that profile. If this doesn't work, then use your last resort, let's say 10 days after, send them an email, right? My emails, I'm actually using my emails to attribute them to the connection request itself. And I go with something like, hey, first I shoot you a connection request. I really appreciate your content. Reason why we are not connected. That's all there is. Like, there is nothing like, this is what I do, and this is who I am, this is what I do. This is basically, let's get connected, the message only, because now I have an exclusive right to do so. So, to the email, short and sweet, that's something that can increase your acceptance rate. Right-hand side, if they accept the connection request, and normally, right, they will, then basically you need to do this in hours. 1 hour later, just don't do 0 over here, because if you do a when accepted, no delay, send the message, that screams out automation. And that's the thing that you want to avoid, right?
Yeah.
So do at least 1 hour, and then you follow up with a message. The message itself starts with appreciation. Thank you for accepting my connection request. It always starts like that. Second part of the message goes with, I've been working with this specific problem. Like, this is an intro about me. It doesn't really mean that whether or not this is a problem for you worth solving right now, but it means like, this is who I am, this is what I do, right? Have you ever had that problem ever, and like at any point? And the reason behind that is because you want to get people talking. 1 hour later, your intro message with the message of appreciation rolls out, and then you ended up in a question mark. The reason why you ended up in a question mark, because things must get conversational. And let's just settle everything, right? You will never close a deal on a connection request. I mean, prove me wrong. 10 years of K-Rich licenses, so for anyone closing a deal on a connection request. Everything happens in the inbox, everything happens through nurturing and establishing trust. So, message 1 rolls out. If there is no response, chances are they have not seen it. Maybe they have clicked on accept on their mobile phone, but they never went to the inbox. So leave a 3-day delay over here, shoot them your follow-up message. Your follow-up message usually goes with something like, hey, I'm really looking forward to get your feedback on XYZ problem. And the problem itself can be a prompt generated in Clay. A problem itself can be really anything. As long as you know that that's their job position, this is the problem that they're facing, this is how I can help, just shoot them questions. I really want to get your feedback. I don't really want your time. I don't want your interest. I want your networking, right? That's what you're in for. Now, this thing might tend, because like people will say to themselves, like, okay, so am I going to just ask people questions? I know that they have a problem. No, like there is a saying which is too soon versus too late. What I'm teaching you over here is not to go too soon. And too soon would be calendar link connection request, let's meet up. Too late is being too conversational. All right, because essentially you need to generate the leads for yourself, for your client, for prove a concept that LinkedIn is working, all of that. So that is why if there is no response to this, you follow up, usually 4 days later, you follow up with a collateral. And the collateral can be really a link, can be a video, can be something that you solve this problem for XYZ type of company. And those are the things that usually, like in these 3 steps, I mean, probably the highest response rate will you get on the second message, where people will say, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't check your message. Yeah, we face this problem. No, we don't have the problem right now. And both of them are good. Nobody's going to be offended just because you've asked them a question, right? Yeah. But in message 3, something that where you push the needle, and the needle goes with something like, hey, here is the collateral that I wanted to share with you, and this is how we do things here at my company, right? If at any point in the next, because like there are sales cycles of 3 months, of 6 months, like there are procurements, there are a bunch of things that are limiting the sales in the first place. So, which is why you go with something like, this is what we do, and if this is a problem in the next 3 months, I like to be the first name that you will think of, right? And this is the collateral, this is the video, this is the whatever it is. That's your message 3. My best experience, after this, you follow up with something like 5 days later, additional profile engagements, just to get additional likes, notifications coming from your end. Essentially, this is where we stop. 3 messages and you're done. Once we are connected, we usually do remarketing campaigns 2 months later, right? Everyone who have not responded to all of these messages, we follow up with something like, hey, long time no see, type of messages, right? That type
Yeah.
of thing. So check my inbox, saw that you were never really responded to me.
Love
Once
it,
this is
man.
done, I'm going to remove this just for the sake of continuing. This is also the campaign. Best part, and I'm going to sell on my product now, guilty. You can do that with multiple accounts at the same time without really setting up 3 campaigns and avoiding prospect duplications at all costs.
Amazing, dude. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, brother. Great chatting with you as always, and look forward to continuing it.
Absolutely, Chris. I appreciate the time.